the moment is silent, so does anybody object to moving forward?
Not at all.
No?
No.
Okay, so we recommend that the executive session minutes relating to litigation legal update be tabled until an agreement has been reached.
So move.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
I recommend that the executive session minutes relating to the collective bargaining discussion of the NEA certified MOA to fill the vision of a graduate position remain sealed until such time as they become public.
So move. Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
I recommend that the executive session minutes relating to the privacy of students and their records, approval of home instruction requests remain sealed.
So move. Second.
All those in favor?
Disclosure of executive session.
There were 3 votes taken in executive session. Executive session minutes 11/19/24, 12 unanimous, with Chambers, Champlin, Chapman, Colasante, Hopkins, Luzon, Lyle, Phelps, Pouliot, Purcell, Reynolds, and Teft in favor. Homeschool approval, 12 in favor, with Chambers, Champlin, Chapman, Colasante, Hopkins, Luzon, Lyle, Phelps, Pouliot, Purcell, Reynolds, and Teft in favor. And then a vote to return to open session, 12 in favor, with Chambers, Champlin, Chapman, Colasante, Hopkins, Luzon, Lyle, Phelps, Pouliot, Purcell, Reynolds, and Teft in favor.
Okay. Per the Charahoe Act, Section 10, Item 2, states within 10 days after the election and certification of the members of the Regional School District Committee, said Regional School District Committee shall meet and organize by selecting one of their number to be chairperson of said committee. At such first meeting of the said committee, following the election and qualification of new members, the committee shall elect a chairperson and elect such other officers as are herein or hereafter authorized, and each 2 years thereafter, at such first meeting following a general election at which school committee members are elected, the Regional School District Committee shall organize and elect or appoint such officers. The school committee chairperson will be a Richmond representative. The vice chair will be a Charleston representative per the usual rotation. Vice Chair Reynolds will ask for the nominations at this time for chair.
Nominations? Linda. Sorry.
Thank you, Karen, so I'd like to, at this moment, elect Karen Reynolds as chair, or put her hat in the ring. I have a couple of reasons why, and I don't know if you want me to wait after the second, or give
We
my
can wait
reasons.
till a second, please.
Second.
Discussion.
So Karen has served as the vice chair with professionalism and grace for 2 years, taking the role as vice chair in taking the role as chair in Catherine's absence. Karen has an excellent working knowledge of Robert's rules and has shown she can lead an efficient but collaborative meeting. She also, in my observations of Karen's interactions with fellow school committee members, out of all of us, I thought she was always very positive and inclusive, and she's willing to listen to all sides. Therefore, I really like to put forth her name as chair.
Thank you.
You're
Very
welcome.
kind. Anyone else? Jeff?
I had similar comments. I also recommend Karen Reynolds to be our chair. She's the longest serving member of the committee, serving as vice chair. Primes you nicely to be the chair. I think it's a common sense and logical decision.
Thank you. Anyone else? Donna?
Karen,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, all those in favor?
Oh,
5. Okay, next.
We didn't have a forum.
So should we do not in favor too?
Not all those not in favor? Okay,
discussion.
another nomination, please. Polly?
I make a motion to table this until the next school committee agenda, with the recognition that this is Catherine Colasante's last school committee meeting, and somebody else will be taking her place. I don't want to see the Richmond voters disenfranchised with that person having the opportunity to take some of the subcommittee seats,
Can I?
as well as have their vote included.
Thank you.
I just want to be clear that the Charahoe Act is law. And at this point, as school committee members, if you choose to break the state law, you would no longer be indemnified as school committee members and have to get your own attorneys. if so, someone should move forward to file a lawsuit. I just need to make that clear that any act to violate the Charahoe Act is a violation of law. And again, you will not be indemnified as school committee members.
Pretty serious.
Where do you want to go, Polly?
So I made a motion.
Is there a second? Wait, she has to
there a
ask. There's
second?
I
I'll second.
second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, so let me just understand.
Yeah.
There are people at this table who are willing to break the law to wait for the next meeting.
Would you read that again, please?
The Charahoe Act? Sure. Per the Charahoe Act, Section 10, number 2, states within 10 days, I'm going to change glasses for a second. Within 10 days after the election and certification of the members of the Regional School District Committee, said Regional School District Committee shall meet and organize by selecting one of their number to be chairperson of said committee. At such first meeting of the said committee, following the election and qualification of new members, the committee shall elect a chairperson and elect such other officers and as are herein or hereafter authorized, and each 2 years thereafter, at such first meeting following a general election at which school committee members are elected, the Regional School District Committee shall organize and elect or appoint such officers. Right now, the rotation is Richmond. The elected, just to be clear, those that have been elected are seated here. Appointments are not elections. The Charahoe Act is very specific, and it says in the vacancy, which has not happened, Catherine Colasante's resignation specifically said upon the swearing in of the new member of appointment. So I just want to reiterate, if I'm sharing with you the law and it's broken, you are no longer indemnified as a school committee member. You have to now retain your own personal lawyers.
Now, I have a question. Gina?
Yes.
Now, last time, we held off on electing.
Subcommittees.
No, we held off on electing a vice chair because of the court case that was involved between Jessica and Clay.
No,
So
you still did it.
No, we went along, we left it vacant until that court case was settled.
I'm just sharing with you what the Charahoe Act says.
I'm just asking what's the difference?
I can go back to the lawyer, but in the end, this is what it says.
Now, 10 days, could you repeat the 10? So could
Within 10 days after the election and the certification of the members of the Regional School District Committee.
So if the, Louise is getting certified this evening?
We received all the certifications of the elected members. It does not talk about appointments. It's a different section. Catherine Colasanti is sitting here tonight and is the official elected member in the seat.
Catherine?
Yes, I have spoken to an attorney about this myself, and I believe that we are able to do this. And so I would like to see if this committee would just move to vote on this right now.
Craig?
I have a question. Was there discussion by greater than a majority of the school committee prior to this meeting to do what was just done?
No.
And
Donna?
I am very concerned, especially with the votes, that there is a lot of open meeting violation going on. Telephone chats, whatever. It's obvious to me, it has been obvious in the past, that there is discussion outside of this committee. I'd put money on it. But anyway,
Catherine?
so I
Oh,
have
I'm sorry,
another
Donna.
question.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not quite sure I understand the concern of tabling this vote. I don't get it. I understand what you just said, Polly, for the reasons, but is tabling it going to make a difference? Karen was voted in as vice chair. She served for 2 years as vice chair. Changing this to the Richmond, Karen also was reelected by the Richmond voters. I don't understand what the objection is to her serving as chair. I'm very concerned about this. I think there's a lot of open meeting violation going on, no question about it in my mind. And I think we need to proceed. I'm not ready to break the law on this.
Catherine?
Yes, Donna, you're just making an allegation with no proof. I know you think it looks a certain way.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can all think that things look a certain way. It's simply an allegation. At this point, you are free to file whatever you think you need to file. That's not pertinent to what's going on at the moment. And like I said, I did speak to an attorney about this myself. Prior to this, it was my intention that we have a seamless transition where there is no point that Richmond has less than full representation on the school committee. And I also believe that we do not have the entire committee that is going to sit here for the next 2 years to choose from for a chair. And I think that is not fair to the full membership of this committee. And again, I also got legal counsel on this. And so, again, I would like to move that we simply vote to table this.
Craig?
Could this be a roll call vote, please? So that, therefore, those that vote in favor of this will be acknowledged as being liable for themselves.
And I just want to say, last time, I hope we had all learned from what happened at the last time, where people said they had lawyers and they consulted, and that's not, and then the town of Richmond ended up paying $25,000. We do not have that kind of money to recklessly put in. You have an entire committee. If it was your choice, I'm just going to say that we're here to do the business of the students. I'm not clear why I have 12 school committee members seated right here right now, and we're not moving forward with the state law. But again, I'm going to put that on record because I am not okay with breaking the law at any point in time.
Linda?
Couple of comments. First, obviously, it was some sort of pre-planning if you had to consult an attorney, so you knew there was going to be an issue, number one. Number two, you are representing Richmond right now, officially, legally. So Richmond does have the 4 officials that they need to be. That's, I don't understand what the argument is, but.
Jess?
So as someone who was disenfranchised from my seat for 6 months, I see nothing wrong with moving forward with a vote on a chair when we're all sitting here. You said you wanted a seamless transition. That's why you're here to vote on this very pertinent issue of electing a chair. It's 8 days till Christmas. The new year is coming up. I don't want to go into the new year and a new budget season without a chair. And Karen has shown herself to be well-respected and to be respectful of everyone and to be ready to step into the position.
Catherine?
Linda, you said that Richmond has representation with me for this meeting, but going forward, we are not choosing from all the representatives for Richmond. And I believe that that person that will be that is legally appointed and that will be sworn in tomorrow night, I believe that that is very egregious to her to have this agenda item, which will bar her from being considered. And for that reason, and again, because I could anticipate this happening, that is why I consulted with a lawyer. I had not planned, although some people seem to feel like they have a crystal ball and they can figure out what's going on in my life. I did not plan after the last election to resign from this position. However, we all have lives, and school committee, as important as it is to me, is not the first priority. And things did come up, which caused me to realize beyond the shadow of a doubt, this is something I had to do. However, looking at the landscape, the political landscape, and we can't be ignorant of that and pretend that we live in a world that we're not thinking if this goes this way, this could happen, okay? Looking at the political landscape, I did say to myself, you know what? I do not want this committee to be lacking a Richmond representative, number one, because we had an interim where we had a seat that was left vacated for a little while. And I also did not want the new member to be in a position where she did not get full consideration. For that reason, I consulted an attorney.
I'm going to take a moment. So, I'm sorry, Donna.
No, I was just going to ask, I'm very confused by this because I understand you're going to be replaced by Louise Dinsmore. And is she saying that she would like to be chair of this committee?
I am saying I don't want to preclude her from being able to be considered. I have no clue how the vote would go.
Okay.
However, I know
said
that
it,
she
you
would
said
be precluded if we vote tonight, as well as subcommittees. We have voted, it's also on the table to vote for subcommittees, and my replacement is not here. I think that is egregious.
The subcommittees, you can wait. That's not in the chair.
I think we can wait on this as well,
But
and like I
Catherine, you're
said.
here.
You're
And we
here.
I am not going to be here after this meeting. And so to say that I'm here tonight has any implication on going forward, it absolutely does not. We do not have the full committee that is going to be sitting here for the next 2 years.
Yes,
And
we
I,
do.
and I won't be redundant in saying over and over, this is the last time I'm going to say it. Because we are not going to have the full committee tonight to vote from the Richmond candidates, I believe it is egregious to force the vote tonight. And that's it. That's my position. And again, with that said, I did consult an attorney, and that is my position.
Craig, please, last.
Move the motion.
Okay,
Move the
so we'll call for a roll call vote. So if you're voting in favor, you are voting to break the
Break the law.
Charahoe Act.
To break the state law of the Charahoe.
Okay,
Right, right.
right. Donna,
Vote, what is the motion?
To table.
the
To
motion.
table it.
To table it. No, absolutely not. It's absurd.
Craig,
No.
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Donna. Diane?
Oh, yes.
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 No.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Laura,
Okay.
is it tabled?
Yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
So you actually should, if you're going to that, then the next thing, subcommittees can be tabled. That's not something that's per the Charahoe Act. That's up to the committee, so that would be separate. So the subcommittee vacancies are noted in red. Those changes can be made at any time per the committee, so that, if you'd like to table that, I would need a motion to table.
So we need a motion. And a second.
Motion was
Diane.
Diane.
Second.
All those in favor of
We have-
tabling
we
the
have-
Tabling the subcommittees.
subcommittee vote?
We have discussion.
Oh, discussion, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I did want to have a discussion about confidentiality concerns when we make these, through the reorganization and assignment to subcommittees. The topic of safety is very important to me, and I find great value in observing safety drills as a member of the safety team. This is information I always keep confidential, and in addition to the work that we do as a committee to approve emergency protocol. So I was, pretty concerned when we got an email update from the superintendent that a member of the safety team has been sharing this information with the public. So I would hope that, rather than singling out anybody, I think that we should talk about reorganizing all the safety team members. I think that at this point, I've been in Richmond for over a year, so I think to have people move through different schools is good. And I think it would also help to reorganize. I think it would help to make sure we move forward with confidentiality that our students and our schools and our teachers deserve.
Okay, so we're just gonna move to a vote. All those in favor of tabling? Yeah. Thank you. All those opposed?
So the upcoming recognitions, Richmond Elementary School collected and donated 1,520 pounds of food to the Rhode Island Center Assisting Those in Need, RICAN, to assist in their mission to help alleviate food insecurity. So thank you to Richmond Elementary School.
Sorry.
We have some post-season awards. First off, we have field hockey, first team all-division, Rachel Barrett. Second team all-division, Kaylin Comerford. Honorable mention, Brogan Manny. All-rookie, Gabriella Ritchie. And all-academic, Sophia Gagner, Megan Daniels, Ella Quigley, and Lila Simos. Congratulations, field. Girls volleyball, third team all-state, Sonia Beasley. Third team all-division, Sonia Beasley. All-division honorable mention, Lily Baxter. All-tournament team, Lily Baxter. All-academic, Lily Baxter, Gianna Fitz, Maya Islander, Grace McLeod, Erin O'Leary, Olivia Lowell, Lillian Gandolfi, and Lainey Marcial. Congratulations to all. Girls soccer, we have the team sportsmanship award. D1, the entire team received that award. All tournament team, Ryan Denicourt and Ashley Simmons. First team all state, Ryan Denicourt. First team all division, Ashley Simmons. Second team all division, Aubrey Courier. Third team all division, Eiley Simmons. Alice Sullivan Perseverance Award for Ashley Simmons, and all academic, Ashley Simmons, Charlie Edmonds, Eleanor Short, Evelyn Campbell, Kyra Martin, Addison Denicourt, and Grace Downey. Congratulations. Our girls cross country, all academic, Chloe Grissom, Kaden Kelly, Kara Link, Carla Pelletier, and Grace Steer, along with the Coaches Award for Emma Prentice. Second team all division, Cam Edom for boys cross country. Third team all division, Charlie Allenson, Ben Steer, Isaac Graham. All academic, Charlie Allenson, Tom Golis, Nick Willis, Ben Steer, Everett Nair, and Coaches Award to Tom Golis. Congratulations, boys cross country. Girls tennis sportsmanship award for Juliet Costa. Boys soccer, first team all-state, Cody Poblaski. First team all-division, Cody Poblaski, Braylon Bennett, Ethan McMahon. Second team all-division, Colby Bennett, Will Ellis. And third team all-division, Jacob Bennett. All academic, Jacob Bennett, Kyle Broder, Ryan Sheldon, and Distinguished Player of the Year, Kyle Broder. Congratulations. Our football awards, first team all-division, Isaac Haig. Second team all-division, Ben Donahue, Luke Felkner, Sawyer Mason. Third team all-division, Ryan Taylor, Logan Smith. Mark R. Winden Sportsmanship Award, Ben Donahue. The all-academic, Luke Felkner, Jason Trudell, Logan Smith, Sawyer Mason. Providence Gridiron Club, we had no one in that category. Offensive MVP, Isaac Haig. Defensive MVP, Sawyer Mason. The Thanksgiving Day Awards, which Charahoe wins 21-0. Special Team Players of the Game, Ryan Taylor. Offensive Player of the Game, Luke Felkner. Defensive Player of the Game, Connor Gardner. Lineman of the Game, Isaac Haig. And Game MVP, Ben Donahue. Congratulations.
I'll go for that. Public forum, Joe Larissa.
He's outside.
He left.
He's gone. Okay, next item on the agenda is the audit report. And in the audience is Mary Sahady. This is our second year with the Sahadys conducting the audit. The school committee last year selected the new auditor. A special thanks to Gregory Zenian, Lynn Grubin, and the entire business office for a job well done, as once again, there were no findings or recommendations. And she's here to provide information that we believe is important for the committee to focus on as we go into our budget season. I am recommending approval of the FY24 audit.
So moved.
Second. Linda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here this evening as well. And as the superintendent just pointed out, you had a very clean audit again this year with no findings, which is, something to be very proud of. Not every district can say that about their financial status at any given time. And so Lynn and the team do a great job. Greg's just come on board, and he was certainly a help to expedite getting the audit completed as well. The document itself is basically the same format that you've seen in the prior years. It starts with our opinion on the financial statements taken as a whole. And again, it's a clean opinion, so there are no findings. The MD&A, which is management's discussion and analysis, that follows the opinion letter. That is where management has the opportunity to describe in layman's terms
a little bit more about the financial status of the Charahoe School District, and that's included through page 13. The government-wide financial statements are the financial statements that follow. Those are the full accrual financial statements that we talked about last year. Those financial statements represent the accrual basis of accounting. So what you see in those financial statements that is simply different than what you see in your governmental funds or your budgetary information that you certainly work on when you put your budget together, and certainly that you see on a monthly basis when you get your reports from the accounting department, includes all your accruals. So really here in the district, we're really looking at, in terms of the accruals, your fixed assets. So you have about $23 million worth of fixed assets, and related debt against that fixed assets is about $18 million. So you have an investment in net assets of about $6.7 million. In the government-wide financial statements, also included is your pension liability. And so that pension liability here for the district is the share of the total pension liability for the state, and it's about $35 million. Your other post-employment benefit liability, that's the liability for your long-term health insurance of your retirees, and that represents about $600,000. And so that gives you an idea of what is in your governmental or government-wide financial statements that is not in your governmental fund statement. So not in the information that you receive on a monthly basis. So on a monthly basis, you're receiving the general fund, any major capital project funds, and then all of your aggregate non-major funds. And those begin somewhere around page, 17 through 20. In 17, we'll give you the balance sheet. So the balance sheet as you know it for the general fund, the debt service bond sinking fund, as well as the aggregate non-governmental funds. And those are your special revenue funds and your capital project funds. So you will see, if you look at the general fund, that you have approximately $4.5 million worth of unassigned fund balance. So that represents about 7.1% of the past year's budget. So that's really good. So the GFOA recommends somewhere around 10%, and somewhere between 7 and 10%. If we take out that committed amount, because as you know, you commit a portion of your fund balance into the next year's budget. So if we take that out and consider that as part of your unassigned, because it was part of the whole in terms of the fund balance, you would actually have 9.4% of equity or fund balance that you have able to utilize for resources. You have other committed, so if you're looking at that page and you're saying to me, where am I getting those numbers from? You have other commitments that you're responsible for. So in that committed balance, that $1.8 million that you see on page 17 includes the commitments for the capital projects. So you have some capital projects where you've authorized spending, but you haven't yet spent it. So included in that committed amount is the amount that you've committed for the capital projects. The bond debt service sinking fund currently has $7.6 million, and that bond sinking fund was set up, if you remember, to pay two pieces of debt that you will have coming due in the future. So you have 3 more years to deposit into that bond sinking fund, and once you've completed those 3 years and the terms of that note come due, you will be making payments on 2 different notes at that particular time. And those are represented in note 7 of the financial statements. If you go to note 7, which is, we're flipping the pages here. If you go to note 7, it's going to be starting on page 42, and you will see the first 2 pieces of debt, the construction revenue bonds, and those bonds don't have any retirement in the current year. So you'll see that those are what are going to be paid off when that bond sinking fund is completed, so to speak. The district had only one fund with a deficit this year. It's a very small deficit. It was $3,574. It was in a small capital project fund, so it was really insignificant when we're looking at the financial statements taken as a whole. So that is also a great accomplishment, that you're not overspending any of your special revenue funds or other funds, and not realizing that they're overspent until year end, and then needing to make up the difference. So you have one very small fund that has a small deficit, again, $3,500. If we flip all the way back to page 70, this always seems to be the most interesting page for most of my clients. So this is considered required supplementary. So it is a page within the financial statements that we are required to report on. And this is your budget and actual. So what you're seeing here should really mirror what you have seen when you get your information from Lynn and the team on a regular basis. So you're not seeing here anything different. What I can tell you is that you have a surplus in your revenue over what your final budget was by $334,000. And you also have a surplus in your expenditures over what was budgeted by $622,000. You had anticipated utilizing $1.4 million of fund balance, and you really only utilized $1.168 million. So that was also, a good turn back in that respect. The changes, the one change this past year that I'll just bring to your attention, I think you probably all know about it, and you probably talked about it at several meetings prior to this one, but you had this past year a reimbursement for your health insurance. So you pay in to your health insurance, and what's calculated is what's considered the claims that are for the runoff, as they refer to it, and that's the amount that you're seeing on your balance sheet right now of $1.8 million of deposit claims. That's what that represents. But really what happened in the past years is your claims have not been nearly as high as they anticipated them to be. And so you received a refund last year of $779,000. So again, on page 70, you're going to see that broken out separately, because I thought it was important to the readers to break it out so that you could see that information separate from rolling it in with the revenue, because it would kind of get lost in the terms of the total 63 million. So we're showing it a little bit separately so that it will be one time only. You won't be having that same kind of return in fiscal 25, nor did you have it in fiscal 23. Beyond that, the supplementary information that starts on page 81 is the aggregate of all of your funds. So if you were to be interested in a particular fund, particular special revenue fund, there's a lot of times different individuals from different communities have different interests in where a particular fund stands. So you can look back and you can see, I just grabbed the page here, page 95, and you can see what you received this past year in Title IV money. You can see what you received in Perkins money. In the most part, all of these grants, and that's why you're seeing a zero fund balance at the end, are all spent appropriately throughout the year based on the budget that's presented to the federal government for reimbursement. And that's a really good thing too. So you're not overspending any of these and you're not underspending them. So you're utilizing these federal dollars to the maximum. So that's also really good in favor for the district. Other than that, again, a clean report. The last report in the document itself is referred to as the internal control report or the yellow book report. Again, no findings in that as well. That's whether or not the district is in compliance with laws and regulations and their internal controls. So again, that report is also clean. I think that pretty much covers it in big summary format. I don't know if anyone would have any questions. Sometimes I talk really fast, so.
There, motion.
We need a motion to accept the audit.
We already did.
We did? Okay. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Unanimous?
Thank you, Mary.
Thank
You're welcome. And I'll support it. I'll submit it tomorrow to the state, so they will have it timely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Item B is the school year 25-26 cost proposal from the high school for the Advanced Art Studio. Assistant Principal Jean Vanini is available if you have any questions, but I am recommending approval of the Advanced Art Studio course for 25-26 school year.
Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Yes?
I just wanted to say that I think it's great. I think that there's often misunderstanding of the arts, that it's just creating art, but really it's an intellectual study. There's a lot of art history involved. And, you know, as someone that went to an art school, I think that I can see that this definitely well prepares students to move on to higher education and the many different directions you can go in the arts fields. I did have a question about the prerequisites. They were listed kind of all together. I'm assuming you need just one or the other.
I believe so, but Jean will go, you have to have it one or the other. It's not all of them.
Yeah, because it was like ceramics too, drawing too.
Yeah, there's a variety of courses that students can have taken as a prerequisite before taking this course.
Okay, and they just need one, not
They
the
just need
whole
one,
list.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
thanks.
Can I ask? So from the way I read it, this is an AP course?
No, this is an
Okay.
honors. This
All
is
right.
an honors course.
Honors
Yes,
course,
yes.
okay, thanks. I just wanted to check.
Any other discussion, questions? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Okay, item C, the NEA Certified Memorandum of Agreement to fill vision of a graduate position. I recommend approval of the MOA as presented.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Okay, next up is the Master Service Agreement, Health and Telehealth Services. This service is being provided to us free of charge from the Rhode Island Department of Education. It simply needs the approval of the school committee and move forward of the MOA, which has been reviewed by legal. Parental consent is required in order to participate in the telehealth program. I recommend approval of the Hazel Telehealth Support Agreement.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Oh, sorry, Catherine.
I just have one question. I always like when I see parental consent required for certain things, this being one of them. Is that something that we did on our own, or is that statewide?
No, that's required for anyone that uses the service.
Great, okay, thank you.
Anything else? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Next up is the one-year extension for MTG disposal, FY26. This agreement bid was for 3 years with 2 one-year optional extension years. The extension terms are reasonable and we were pleased with their service. Therefore, I recommend approval of a one-year extension.
Need a motion?
Donna.
I need a second.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Okay. One-year extension for S&S Landscaping for FY26. This agreement was for 3 years and has 2 one-year optional extension seasons. The extension terms are reasonable, and while there were some minor concerns noted, the team does not believe there is enough cause to go out to bid. However, it's being closely monitored, and I am recommending approval of a one-year extension.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Discussion? Tyler?
Do we mind discussing what those concerns were, Greg?
Big picture.
Yeah, big picture. We don't need
Big
details.
picture, some damage to some of our equipment around the fields and, with some concerns when, of, work being done when we have students on the fields.
Okay.
And they've been addressed and
That's easily mitigated, right?
we're hoping so, yes.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. Need a vote? All those in favor? Craig and Jess. All those opposed? All those abstaining? Jess said no.
Oh, it's my favorite one coming up. Item G, we have the USDA Farm to School Implementation Grant for $150,000. I would like to welcome first-time grant writer, senior at Charahoe High School, Ethan Tarsazian, who Katie Karakosian has mentored to learn the ins and outs of drafting grants. Ethan is one of our 8 semester 1 interns through USDA Scales. I recommend approval of the grant as submitted, and Ethan and Katie are here if you have any questions.
I need a motion,
Motion.
and I need a second.
Second.
Tyler? Pat? Discussion? Questions? Linda?
Just a little overview, big picture maybe.
Thank you.
You're here, so it'd be great to hear from either Katie or I'm sorry, the student is Ethan. Sorry, Ethan.
Ethan's also our president of the FBLA Charahoe chapter.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so the focus of this really looks at what farm to school is more broadly. So our requests kind of couch themselves within the areas of classroom, cafeteria, and community, as you saw in your packet. We hope to expand hands-on agriculture education, bring in more nutrition education that actually connects from the curriculum in the classroom to the cafeterias, as well as focus efforts on an ongoing interest that I've heard, which is to plant an Indigenous teaching garden at one of our elementary schools. And then in the area of cafeteria, we hope to move towards increasing school-grown foods and scratch cooking in our cafeterias, although they do a wonderful job. We know they could increase those. There's many things, as we put in our packet here. One of them in particular that we're very interested in is finding ways to expand taste tests, but also improve the quality and variety of hot and cold foods at the Charahoe Alternative Learning Academy, which is our only community eligible provision school. And actually some of this work, when I came about a year ago to apply for the USDA Scales Grant, which brought us the lovely Mr. Tarsazian and 7 of his fellow classmates, it was from their one of their entrepreneurship classes that some of that work began. So we really feel as though this cafeteria project that we could be doing through this grant would bring us full circle and bring students at CALA some of the requests that they made over a year ago. And then we have ways of connecting this work to the community through a mobile farmers market. Ethan helped us with our first farmers market at the homecoming, and we have big plans for expanding, and also some ways to connect with the community in terms of having bedtime stories for students that focus on healthy foods, and also more of a adult wellness series for the community that would be virtual, so the community can learn more about healthy meals, cooking, some of the tricks and tips that Chartwell's has to make kids eat their broccoli because they make it really delicious and things like that.
Ethan, do you want to share with the committee something that was interesting that you learned as you were in this process?
Yes, it's very exciting to see all the things that Dr. K does with the grant writing, and she was trying to teach me some of it, and there's a ton that goes into it. So everyone that does it is very amazing and talented, and I'm so honored to be able to be a part of it.
Nice job.
Were these ideas, did they come from the student interns? Did you work together to come up with these 10, 12 different initiatives and projects, pieces of the grant?
Some of them have come from the work that we've done with Scales. Some of them have also come from some of our other school partners. Like I said, there is an elementary school that's interested in having the Indigenous Teaching Garden, and that's something that was brought to the forefront. So what I feel like my job is, because I connect with so many schools as a district-wide position, is to hear their kind of wish list items, and then was for me to find a way to connect it in here. So it has been student requests, some of it interns, some of the working group meetings that we've been doing with Scales, which has all of our interns participate. So yes, some of it has been student-led.
Great, thanks.
Anything else? Nice. All those in favor? All those opposed?
There's a reason why I just didn't verbalize it fast enough.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, next up, thank you very much. Thank you. Stage one, this is the application approval to proceed with the elementary school capital planning. I am recommending approval to allow the district to move forward to prepare the stage one application for our elementary capital plan that is required by law. Mr. Denian?
Yes, just as a reminder, when, the May bond did not pass, Charahoe is still required to reset and prepare a new plan in order to, ensure we receive reimbursement on our elementary capital projects. RIDE will allow 2 opportunities a year to submit applications. One is in February and the second is in September. If the committee approves, we will work for a stage one submission to meet the February deadline to RIDE. And, keep in mind, the stage one application is good for 1 year. If we wait, we won't, we will not be reimbursed on any of the work that we're gonna need to start doing on some of our elementary buildings.
We need a motion.
Okay.
As a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Larry?
Do we know what the language is gonna be in this application? What we're gonna do, the assessments be done?
So I would ask that all of you go back to the minutes for stage one, because we've done this a lot. But the stage one is a feasibility study, so it's our responsibility to update the enrollment study. It's our responsibility to give the facilities report that was done. Right now, it's Jacobs, but the Bureau Veritas is coming, and then it's our responsibility to show the need to RIDE of what that we want to work on our facilities. That's what a stage one is. And that information has been done significantly throughout the last 2 years, especially. So it is important, and I would ask the committee to refresh themselves because we're going to be involved in stage one and stage two ongoing.
Catherine?
Okay, so this is what I need to know. Is to meet the February deadline, how much needs to be put in that report? Are you submitting a plan as far as what work we plan on doing, or you're just starting the process? Because you said that a lot
Stage
of
one.
work
It's
is
stage one. I'll reiterate it one more time. It's
Good.
the enrollment study. It's the facilities review report, which is right now Jacobs, going to be Bureau Veritas. And then it's our submission to RIDE of why we need facility investments.
So you're not putting particulars in it by
No.
February?
No.
Okay, good. Because I would say that would be like very fast for the committee to have to
And
consider.
again, I would ask the committee to go back through the stage one minutes to make sure that we reviewed, because we've had a lot of conversations regarding this work.
Tyler?
We expect that, the Veritas report before February, right?
We do, but I talked to RIDE and they said that they're recognizing that if for some reason they don't have it, that it's fine for the submission with the Jacobs, knowing that they'll update with the Bureau Veritas.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Call for a vote. All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Next up, letter I is the local support letter to RIDE regarding the main campus bond projects and selection of school committee members to represent their town and the district on the building committee. The first, I'm going to ask for approval to allow the district to work with RIDE to submit a letter that allows the district to shift the RIDE-approved main campus capital projects into the bond-funded projects. This is a process that RIDE initially did tell us that we could do, but it involves some logistics that we have to work out in order to submit the letter. So the permission is simply that you're supporting the campus bond that was voted on by the people, and that allowing us to work with RIDE to officially submit the letter to move it into the bond projects.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Larry?
How, without a chair, how can we go forward with this?
You have an acting chair interim, which is Karen.
Okay.
Catherine?
Yeah, my concern is that if we're selecting the school committee, we're not selecting the school committee members tonight, right? Okay, fine, I'm good
So
with it.
you are.
We are, all right, well,
One
in
school
that
member
case,
per town. You already did that. So we have that on the subcommittees. If you decide not to change that, then those will stand for the January 7th meeting.
okay, so there is a potential for the next meeting when the new member sits, if they want to put their name in that, they're not excluded, is that correct?
No, per the Charahoe Act, a school committee member must be members from every town. Currently, if you look at your subcommittee, the building committee, you have, I believe it's Craig Lozon, Catherine Giusti, and Karen Reynolds. So there is a Hopkinton vacancy.
Yes, right, got it.
So we would need to vote on that.
So first it's the letter. So
First-
first,
first
I
do
need
the
a
letter.
motion to approve
Approve the
the letter to submit to RIDE to move the capital plan projects into the bond.
Can we get a motion?
Need a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Oh, we did that.
All those in favor?
Next up
Unanimous.
is the selection of the building committee. We already have a standing building committee, which I just said who they are. If there would like to be a Hopkinton added, or you would like to change, we would need to discuss that at this point.
Discussion.
I'll fill the chair if nobody wants to. Not-
I'm sorry, what?
I will fill the chair if nobody in Hopkinton wants to.
Well, I'm looking at the subcommittees as of 12/10/24, and the building committee is Craig, Karen, and myself.
Oh, I apologize. Did I say Catherine?
Yeah.
I apologize. So then it would be, no, there's no vacancies then. My apologies.
So we can just move on. We don't have to vote.
We don't, as long as everyone's good?
There's no motion.
So I would just make a motion that we're sticking with the current members of each committee. I would recommend that we formalize that.
All right, so a motion to,
I make a motion that the committee stands as.
As it.
stated.
You okay with that, Ty?
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstaining? It's not voting for himself.
I never-
Okay.
myself.
Next up is the resolution for the transportation. I'm recommending approval of the transportation resolution to send to the legislature and the governor's office to request continued support to continue to provide the full funding to regional districts for transportation. Upon your approval, we will be sending this to the regional districts as well as the legislature and our elected officials.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
It needs to be done.
All those in favor?
I know.
Unanimous.
Okay. Next up is the bus monitor variance. I recommend approval to submit a request for a variance for the 2025-2026 school year. We do this annually from the requirement which stipulates that bus monitors must be provided on all buses transporting students in grades K through 5. This is only a request that applies to our secondary bus runs for grade 5 only.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Item L would be a motion to table until the lease agreement is ready with the solicitors.
Make a motion to table L. So, second.
Discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
I recommend approval of the budget transfers as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Item N is your budget updates, unless there's a question from Mr. Zimmerman. Doesn't need approval, this is just for your discussion. And then moves to consent.
No, I did want to just call out the dates that were in there. In the budget updates, there was a list of the upcoming meetings, so I just wanted to maybe say them out loud. And I was curious if there should be another budget workshop in February. That was something. There's one in January, but February, we just have our meeting.
Okay. Do you want me to read the list?
Yeah, and then just remember, the Charahoe Act is a date by February that you have to approve it.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so let me see then if that,
so we have a
can tell you the
budget,
date.
budget presentation Tuesday, January 14th. We have the Finance Committee Omnibus Meeting Wednesday, January 22nd. We have a budget workshop Tuesday, January 28th. We have a budget business item Tuesday, February 11th.
so is that the date? The Tuesday? So for us to have a meeting between January 28th and February 11th would be that, there'd be 1 week probably. Because you're saying, when's the date in February that we have to have it?
No later than the 15th of February.
Okay,
You have to have the approved proposed budget to you all have to take it. And then you do the adoption in March.
So we do have that
So we could do
February-
one.
There
We
is
have
a
one
week.
February 11th.
Yeah, but is that
It's a business item.
Yeah, it's a business
it's in a
item,
regular
It's
meeting?
a regular meeting.
Can
Could we have another,
February 4th?
There's nothing stopping you for the rules of conduct as we go along to let it start and then add a meeting if you need to.
yeah, now can we adopt the budget at that meeting specifically, Gina, or does that have to be done at a regular school committee meeting?
The adoption of the budget should happen at the regular school committee
So
meeting.
that has to happen by the
Budget
11th of
workshops
February,
can
no matter
only be to
what.
discuss and workshop the budget.
But we still have that from February meeting to March meeting to change or amend the
To make
budget.
changes, yeah.
But you have until the March adoption.
Correct.
March adoption, so
Right.
we can do it after
We could
February
do,
11th.
exactly, that's
All
what
right,
I'm
I'm
saying.
sorry.
Okay,
There's
so
there's certain things that you have to do for
I had my days
annual,
confused.
because you have to have so much time for the annual finance meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to give voters 30 days to review.
Are you okay with that, Jessica? Because we could actually put a meeting between the February regular meeting
There'd be
and the
that
March.
week, so we could have one the 28th and then have one do on a Thursday, like we used to do Tuesday and Thursday. We could keep Tuesday the 28th and then do Thursday the 6th as an option.
My recommendation is to wait. Based on the review that we've done, they were poorly attended, no decisions were made. And unfortunately, what happened is the members that missed, information was being repeated over and over again for those. They weren't productive, which is why the change was made. Which is why I'm saying start the process, and if you need the time, add it. But I wouldn't think about adding a meeting just for the purpose of adding.
So we could add it on
Any day.
February
the
4th.
14th or the 28th.
Right, we would need the 72 hours to be able to post.
Okay. Okay,
So my thing is after you do the omnibus and then that meeting, you'll
Right.
have the omnibus, the budget presentation, the budget workshop. And after that, you'll have a sense of where you are.
okay.
So, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you
We
want
don't
me
need
to
a vote.
continue?
Thanks
to
for
read?
entertaining my.
No.
It's good to think out loud.
Okay?
I'm just going to continue with the meeting numbers. That's okay.
sure, yeah.
So the annual regional school committee meeting and public hearing is Tuesday, March 4th. The budget as a business item and adoption of the budget for referendum is March 11th. And then the all-day referendum is April 8th. Okay, that was just for
Thank you.
edification.
A motion to move the consent agenda.
Ready? Need a motion to move the consent agenda?
Does anybody have anything to pull? Oh my God. So before I make a motion to approve it all, I would like to acknowledge the donations by, one, the Ritchie family, in honor of the late former Superintendent Barry Ritchie, made a generous monetary donation to Barry J. Ritchie Library at Charahoe High School. Two, SNS Landscaping, Scott Sunderland, and Fair Play Turf, Eric Hagenstein, supplied an in-kind donation of $4,170 worth of slice seeding in the lower bowl area. This work included seeds, starter fertilizer, and labor. SNS Landscaping and Fair Play Turf helped to keep the fields in the best possible condition for our students and athletes. And at this time, I may make a motion to approve all of the consent agenda items.
Second by Tyler.
Tyler? Discussion? No? All in favor? Unanimous.
Okay, for the reports, we have the audit subcommittee in your minutes from 11/14/24, the policy subcommittee from 11/19/24, the health and wellness subcommittee met on 12/10/24. Minutes will be included in next month's agenda. Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
Angela included them. From my report, I'm excited to remind everybody that Charahoe was selected for the U.S. Department of Energy's CLASS program. We are proud to announce that Charahoe is the only district in Rhode Island to receive this prestigious opportunity. The selection as one of only 60 local educational agencies or districts nationwide and the sole district in Rhode Island to participate in the U.S. Department of Energy's Champions Leading the Advancement of Sustainable Schools program for the 24-25 school year. This program was supported by the infrastructure law and aimed to equip schools with the tools and resources needed to improve energy efficiency and adopt renewable energy technologies and enhance indoor air quality, fostering healthier, more sustainable learning environments. Through this program, Charahoe will receive specialized training and coaching and expert guidance to design and implement impactful energy strategies by joining this national initiative. We will develop sustainable practices that can be scaled to benefit other districts in Rhode Island and across the country. We were thrilled to be able to get this opportunity for this very transformative program. Charahoe selection places it among 60 LEAs, over 1.7 million students, and nearly 3,000 schools in 31 states. And this will cultivate a network of energy champions who will lead the districts in achieving impactful and scalable, sustainable goals.
Thank you.
And then please review your time for the important updates. Still lots of wonderful festivities with chorus and band opportunities coming your way this week.
Any requests for future agenda items? Larry?
I'd like to see if we can schedule a special meeting to elect a chair within the 10 days.
You already passed the 10 days. The election was November 7th. And then it's based on the certification from the clerks. It's already passed.
Okay.
Anything else?
I have a hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jess.
So, never mind, I'm gonna email you, Gina.
Okay, that sounds great. Excellent. Okay, without further ado, any objections?
Make it a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Look, it's unanimous.
Everyone